All right, part one, breaking bad old habits. Okay, I'm going to give you some tips on this. If you happen to have some bad habits related to food, or maybe even it could be you don't exercise enough, whatever. So a lot of people are in this situation where they have these habits and they have this routine thing of going through up and down, up and down. You go through stress, you eat your carb, you feel better. Boredom one day, you eat some carbs, you feel better. You're tired. That was my thing. I had some seriously bad habits. I used to do Ben and Jerry's every single night for probably a year. Okay, a whole pint, no problem. I would look forward to it. I used to do the chips, potato chips. I used to do popcorn at night, snacking, a routine thing as I watched TV. And then I started getting into a healthier snack, right? An apple with nut butters, almond butter. I would do that between breakfast and lunch and between lunch and dinner. Okay. It's a bad habit. I put on a lot of weight. I was like 211 pounds. At one time, where I was living, you could buy these margaritas at the 7-Eleven. And I would get into that for probably 6 months of every night coming home, buying this margarita and just getting in that bad habit. So I had some pretty bad habits, and I have a lot of other bad habits, but it usually starts off very pleasurable, and then it gets very uncomfortable, and sometimes it gives you pain. So the question I have for you is, what routine do you have? What's the worst one? Put it down below in the comments section. And once you do that, I have a question for you. What is your willingness to change on a scale from 1 to 10? Or 0 to 10? 0 being no willingness, 10 being extremely willing, or let's say 5 being, well, maybe, but it really depends on how easy it is. Go ahead and put that number down below. So a lot of times, maybe friends and family that you have that are trying to get you to eat healthier, they might talk about all the negative things that can happen to you from eating this thing or eating too many carbs. But what I want to do is I want to take a different approach. I want to talk about all the good things about it, all the right things about it. What's right about eating these carbohydrates? So that is a question. Does it make you happy? Does it make you feel better? Does it help you relax? Is it more fulfilling after a long day at the office? That would be something to evaluate and look at. Now, what I want to do is explain a little bit further what's happening at the physical level when you are consuming routine, regular carbohydrates as a bad habit. You're really oscillating between two neurotransmitters. One is dopamine, which gives you the pleasure sensation, and the other one is serotonin, which gives you a happy sensation. Happy, pleasure, back and forth. But when you are consuming these carbohydrates, what you're really doing is you're satisfying the withdrawal symptoms of these receptors that have become downgraded, and they're creating an urge to consume this carbohydrate. What I want to tell you is that these carbohydrate cravings are very unnatural. They're developed over a period of time with certain chemical changes that happen in the body. When you start consuming these refined carbs over a period of time, your neurology, your neurotransmitters, all will start to behave in a way that now you're slightly addicted. So what is an addiction? It's something that you have a strong craving for that you can't control. So what can you do about that? Well, number one, we need to increase that to a 10. You need to decide to do it. Make a decision. Number two, you need to change your routine, whatever that is. You need to get the ice cream out of the house. You have to make it very difficult to go buy ice cream. You also have to put yourself in an environment that is not very tempting. And maybe you replace the refined carbohydrates with maybe a healthier version of that, maybe a keto dessert, something like that. Number three, rid distractions. There are so many things that are going to distract a person from their goal. Social events, having people over that have the same bad habit. Those are all distractions. Watching the food channel, that's going to distract you from staying on track. Number 4, you got to push through the discomfort. What discomfort? The withdrawal symptoms. It's a feeling of pressure. It's a feeling of a void that you have to fill. There's a certain amount of pain and pressure and stress involved if you don't give in to these cravings. Number 5, increase more dietary fat at the meal. Very, very important. If you're on a low-fat diet or a low-calorie diet, you are going to have a tough time. It's very important to consume more fat at the meal so you can then go longer and feel satisfied, so you eventually can have it where your cravings go down to 0. That is the ideal scene. And number 6, B vitamins, especially B1 from nutritional yeast, which is a very natural and therapeutic thing to greatly help you because all these neurotransmitters need the B vitamins to work correctly. So you'll get relief just from that alone. All right, stay tuned for part 2. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's some only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto and Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.